Let's look at a few concepts today and see if we can work them out. Now, I've been telling you that a plus multiplied by a minus gives you a minus. Well, why would that be? Let's have a look at the term 5 multiplied by minus 3. Well, what does times actually mean? It means 5 lots of the number minus 3, which would be the same as saying minus 3 plus minus 3 plus minus 3 plus minus 3 plus minus 3. And if we just counted in terms of minus 3 here, so if we add all of these numbers up, if we've got minus 3 and we add another minus 3, well, minus 3 would be minus 6, another minus 3 would be minus 9, another minus 3 would be minus 12, and another minus 3 would be minus 15. So if we just did this by adding up our negative numbers, we would get the answer minus 15. But we know that 5 multiplied by plus 3 equals plus 15. So it would seem reasonable that 5 multiplied by minus 3 equals minus 15. And what's in front of this little 5 that we don't actually write, whenever there's a plus sign instead of the number, we don't actually write it. So here we're sort of proving to ourselves that plus 5 multiplied by the number minus 3, a plus times a minus always gives us a minus answer in the answer multiplied by the number itself. 5 threes are 15. So a plus times a minus gives a minus. And then we multiply the numbers together. Okay, what then, let's think of it another way as well. Let's think of the number 5 multiplied by 0 equals 0. Well, we all know that, don't we? 5 lots of nothing is nothing. But if we were to change the 0 and think of 0 as being the same as the number 3 minus 3. Well, we've still got 3 minus 3 is 0, so this is the same thing here as 0. 3 minus 3 is 0, that's the same as here. And 5 lots of nothing must give us nothing. What happens if we expand these brackets out then? Well, we would then get 5 times 3 is 15. And 5 multiplied by minus 3, we take each number in the bracket and multiply it once. So the first thing we do is multiply the 5 by the plus 3, which we've done here. Once we've done that, we finish with the 3 number. Now we multiply 5 by minus 3 here. So 5 times 3 is 15. But but we don't know whether this should be a plus or a minus yet, if we haven't quite decided whether 5 times minus 3 should be plus 15 or 5 times 3 should be minus 15. But we know that the answer to this has to be 0, because 5 multiplied by 0 is 0. So there is only one real answer that we could get. We can't have that 5 times minus 3 would be plus 15, because that would be that 15 plus 15 would equal 0, and it doesn't. So the only answer that we could have here that's reasonable is that plus 5 times minus 3 has to give us the answer minus. It means that this plus cannot work here, because otherwise our mathematical equation wouldn't be true. Because then we would get 15 minus 15, which does equal 0. So we know that multiplying a plus number, 5, and minus number, minus 3, gives us a minus answer. So we can define that a plus times a minus always equals a minus. And it wouldn't have mattered if we'd swapped these 3 rounds, so we'd have got minus 3 plus 3. So we also know that a minus times a plus also equals a minus. So if you've got odd signs, here we have a minus and a plus, here we have a plus and a minus, you are always going to get a minus in the answer. If you've got 2 numbers multiplied together, one of them is plus and one of them is minus, doesn't matter which order they're in, then the answer will always be minus. And this is extremely important to remember in maths. But here, only when we are multiplying or dividing. So let's have a quick look at some examples then. We've got 2 multiplied by minus 4. Well, 2 times 4 is going to be 8. In front of the 2 here, there's an invisible plus sign. A plus times a minus is going to be minus. So we have the answer minus 8. What about 4 divided by minus 2 then? Well, in front of the 4 is an invisible plus sign. 4 divided by 2 is 2, but plus divided by minus, different signs, is going to give us minus. So 4 divided by minus 2 would give us minus 2 as the answer. What then about 3 times minus 2 divided by minus 3? Well, let's look at that and break it down into two little things. 3, if we just multiply first the top line, 3 multiplied by minus 2. Well, 3 times 2 is 6. In front of the 3 here is an invisible plus sign. A plus times a minus is a minus. So we then get minus 6, and the bottom we haven't done anything with. We now get minus 6 divided by minus 3. 6 divided by 3 is 2, but here we have the same signs. So a minus divided by a minus actually always ends up being a plus. So the answer is 2. And we'll show you that in the next video. Why is a minus divided by a minus a plus, and why is a minus multiplied by a minus a plus?